Black Style Houston with Lloyd Gite.
Pleasantville takes place in Houston, 1996, and it is meant to dissect a contentious mayoral race. Wonder where I got that idea?
I wonder.
And the idea of it always was to mix a murder mystery with a trial, and to have the trial dissect an election. That was always the ambition, and I'm really proud of it. I think I got as close to my goal as I wanted to get, as I could get, so I'm really proud of it.
Now, you have deep Houston roots. A lot of people might not know that, but your mom and dad are actually from here, and they were very famous during the 70s, the civil rights struggle.
Yeah, yep. I mean, and their worldview is all over my work. I mean, my work is pretty political. I think that I probably mix in a pop sentiment more than some people do, but to me that mix of slick genre and larger philosophical issues is interesting to me. And I think that the genre elements, the cops and the mystery and all this kind of stuff, allow you to slip in some deeper political thoughts. So I'm pointedly trying to mix the two.
Let's talk a little bit more about that. How important is it fusing reality with not so real?
I said one time, what did I say on a panel one time? That I want to be just real enough that when I tell the lies, you believe them. So I'm trying to be real enough that if people live in Houston, they're like, this girl kind of has a handle on the city. But then when I slide in the other stuff, that I can get them to go with me on the journey. So I take all my inspiration from real life, but I don't feel beholden to it at all. I'm beholden to a good story, first and foremost. Seeing them and making sure that their lives and their values and their pain and their history gets recorded. That is probably more important to me than anything else, is that something gets written down and that our history gets is no longer marginalized. I remember when we were putting together the jacket for Pleasantville, and HarperCollins was working on the wording of, describing the story. And they said something like, Jay Porter goes into this historic minority neighborhood. And I said, nope, no. Jay would never call it a minority neighborhood. Don't other blackness. It's just a neighborhood. And so it is very important to me that our history becomes seen as purely American history and not something that's ghettoized and we only think about it in February. So that's really meaningful to me. If I look back, I can see the steps. I can see myself typing on a little typewriter.
A little typewriter?
Well, it was a big typewriter, but I had little fingers. And at 11, I can see myself doing those things, but I could not have imagined this at all. So it's kind of amazing. More. I just want more of them. I mean, it is the greatest thrill for me to open the book and see like other titles by. I want to open a book one day and it's like 10 titles.
You.
By me. Also by Attica Locke, and it's long. I think being prolific is a goal of mine, to just have more stories out there. That's probably my greatest ambition. I don't know that I don't have a thing where I need to write a historical novel now, or I need to write science fiction. I don't have anything like that. I just want to be able to keep doing it.
Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. There is this little musical drama called Empire.
I think I've heard of it.
That is on the Fox network.
Yes.
And it has blown everybody away. And you are one of the writers.
I'm watching television get really interesting. I had been in Hollywood before. I was a screenwriter. I was a well-paid screenwriter. None of it ever got made. And I got really bored with all of it and I walked away. And so I was doing books, but the whole time I was doing books, I'm watching TV get all the stuff I do with books is happening on TV too. It's deep character work. It's adult dramatic themes, political thing. It just was interesting. I said, I think I want in on that, and I just went to my Hollywood agents and said, "What's out there? Tell me what's out there." And so they sent me a bunch of scripts. They tried to set up meetings, and when I read Empire, I did not sleep. When I read the script, and that's how I knew what was going on, what was about to happen to me, because it wasn't like I read it and was like, me, I gotta do. I just could not sleep. I just was up all night thinking about it.
You could not sleep.
I couldn't sleep. And from the first meeting, I was like, I have to do this. It was really walking in the room with Lee, who I'd met him before. But walking in the room and talking to him about this, I walked out of there knowing I had to do it.
What's it like writing for this little bitty show that millions and millions of people are watching? What's it like?
Well, I can only answer that for the last few weeks that we've been back for season 2. Because you remember last year when we were doing, nobody knew what we were doing. Nobody cared. So there was none of the sense of millions of people watching us. And now, I don't know that we feel the pressure that I would have thought, or even the pressure I felt before I went in the room. Something happens in the room when the group of us get together. You feel a sense of, we got this. We got it. We're going to work it out. But I think it's more just excitement. It's more like, that was so much fun for us to sit in a room on season 1, make stuff up, and be like, we were all to each other like, I would watch the hell out of this show. But we didn't know if anybody else was going to feel that way. So it was so gratifying.
Everybody feels that way. What are you talking about?
We had no idea. It was so gratifying to then realize other people feel that way. So it's more fun. I think we mostly have a feeling, let's do more fun, more music. We're just excited.
Well, I know you can't talk about what we can expect, but what would you like to see? Just give us a little bit of what you'd like to see. No.
No, probably not. No. I mean, I think the things I sometimes talk about wanting to do would derail what the show is. Because if you left me to my devices, I'd throw in a bunch of political stuff. And that's not ultimate. This show deals in sociological themes, but that's not really what it is. At its core, it is meant to be a soap opera. It's meant to be a family drama. And so I think the only thing I want is to get back in there and hear the music and tell the stories, just watch the actors do this magical thing that they do. It's really an incredible process. What I hope, Lloyd, is that this is history. I hope this isn't something we look back and say, remember that blip in 2015? And then it all went away. I want it to be history. Like, remember when what we're living in now in 2020, 2025, remember when that started? That's what I want it to be. I don't want this to be something that just happened and then went away.
Black Style Houston with Lloyd Gite.